once you genuinely sit with me even for a moment, there is no such thing as privacy in your life. I can enter every aspect of your life if you're willing. My life is dedicated and devoted to your growth. If you deny me that and prostrate in front of me, it doesn't mean anything. Only when you experience me as something more than just a person, that I truly become your guru. Until then, I am not. I'm like manure. If you sink your roots into me, something wonderful will happen. Just make this the basis of your life. Anyone who truly longs always has access to this energy. When a heart cries out to know, I'm always there. A certain madness of your heart is needed. The instinct of self-preservation must be set aside. Guru is like a doorway. Pass through it and you find reality. In the ultimate sense, I'm in the final phase. I can offer you the way that I have found. I am here to guide you so that you don't waste 12 years, but it must be the only thing on your mind, screaming in every cell of your body, what are you ready for? Namaskaram, welcome to 360. On this day of Ashadha Purnima or Adi Purnima as it's known in the south, an important Purnima. It's called as Guru Purnima because it is on this day, Adiyogi, the first yogi, turned into Adiguru. The full moon has long been revered as a source of soma, the divine nectar that fills us with a sense of bliss and vitality. Gazing at the moon during its fullest phase can awaken a deep, intoxicating energy within us, a feeling of exuberance and calm that lifts one's spirits. The moon has always been seen as deeply connected with the mind, and even the modern science suggests that lunar cycle may be influencing sleep, melatonin and serotonin rhythms, which are closely linked with mood and relaxation. Well, that's a follow-up to human experience, but in human experience, if you really absorb the moonbeams, you will see, you will feel totally intoxicated and very exuberantly conscious. On Guru Purnima, this full moon becomes even more significant because it is dedicated to receptivity, grace. So sit quietly, breathe slowly and consciously drink in the moonbeams. Let its cool luminosity enter your system. If you are receptive, the full moon can awaken a quiet exuberance, a sense of being gently intoxicated by life itself. Ashadha Purnima or Adi Purnima, which is the first Purnima after summer solstice. But this year, it is the second Purnima after summer solstice, which is the 21st of June, because this year we had a Adhika Masa or a extra month. Because going by the lunar cycles, we are 11 days short compared to the solar calculations of the year. These 11 days are adjusted once in every 3 years. So this is the adjustment year, So this is called as Adhika Masa. Adhika Masa is over, now it is Adi or Ashadha Masa. And so the full moon happens to be the second full moon after the summer solstice, and this is Guru Purnima. This day holds special significance as it is on this day Adiyogi, the first of the yogis, chose to become a guru, that means Adiguru or the first guru. This also marks the beginning of sadhana pada. Around the summer solstice, there is a noticeable shift in the planetary alignment. The sun appears to move southward, making a transition from the peak of outward light and expansion into a period of gradually shortening days and lengthening nights, and a more reflective inward phase of the year. The shift triggers a natural readjustment, not just for yogis, but for all living beings and the very planet. Our bodies instinctively adapt during this time to maintain balance and thrive in harmony with these changes and rhythms. Every form of life on this planet, from plants and insects to birds, animals, even microbes, is essentially solar-powered. The complex chemistry of life here is fueled by solar energy. Without it, life wouldn't be possible. So understanding the current relationship between the sun and the earth and being conscious of the shifts is very important. When the relationship between the sun and the earth changes, we want to flourish as a life. It is best to consciously make a few adjustments. What adjustments? Well, there are many subtle shifts within the body, which your energy body will do by itself. If you're doing your sadhana diligently, it will happen. But one simple thing that you can consciously do in your day-to-day life is, whenever you have to turn around clockwise in this sadhana pada period. But after Makara Sankranti, whenever you want to turn around in anti-clockwise direction. Over 15,000 years ago, on this very day, Adiyogi was making certain subtle alignment shifts within himself, when he noticed 7 remarkable beings, shining, ethereal in their brilliance, sitting and waiting for him. These 7 beings today in this civilization are celebrated as the Saptarishis or the 7 sages. The Lord says that when these sages first came to Adiyogi, they requested him, pleaded with him, please show us the way. We want to know what you are experiencing. As he sat still, unmoving for months on end, they want to know what is it that makes a man sit like this, that he is beyond his physical nature. They wanted to know that. So, Adiyogi, not much interested, but just to shake them off, he gave them a few preparatory steps and said, you do it. Let's see. The Lord goes out to say that these people practiced these preparatory steps for 84 years. We do not know how many years, but this is what the Lord says. After 84 years of intense sadhana, obviously if one has to be steadfast for 84 years to a simple practice that is given to them, they clearly had seen or experienced there is something beyond the limitations of who they were. So they quietly pursued this sadhana, and on this day, when he was consciously making changes within himself and probably he turned clockwise and they were sitting right here. And he saw these 7 shining beings, these brilliant beings, he could not ignore them anymore. He had a close look at them and saw these are like 7 receptacles willing to receive whatever he's willing to overflow with. So he looked at them closely and then, almost choiceless, he turned into a guru. He himself turned south and came to be known as Dakshinamurti. When he sat as a guru, he is known as Dakshinamurti, and then the exposition of yoga started. And all this happened on the banks of Kanti Sarovar, or today what is known as Kanti Sarovar, Kanti meaning grace. Well, this was one of the places that I trekked to for many years, not knowing why. Beyond Kedar, another 6 to 8 kilometers of trek, you come to this lake. As you must have heard of this, because a few years ago there was a major unfortunate incident where a lot of people lost their lives because this glacial lake burst forth. It's on the banks of this lake that the first exposition of yoga happened. So, this is known as Kanti Sarovar because essentially yoga is not a philosophy, a teaching, new set of beliefs, no. It is an overflowing of grace out of which one gets to dissolve the individual boundaries and comes to union with the existence or with the larger whole. This is why yoga means union. So, this happened out of teaching, scientific exposition, for the sake of understanding. All these things are to quell the human intellect, but the real thing happened because he overflowed with grace. So, the lake itself got the name of Kanti Sarovar. Guru Purnima is a significant day. For one, it is the birth of the first Guru. And why it is significant for humanity? Doesn't matter who you are, where you are, it is significant for you because it is on this day that for the first time a realization to the human beings that if you are willing to strive, you can go beyond all the limitations that are set by nature upon you. The body has its limitations, mind has its limitations, but through the science of yoga and through the grace of the source of creation, we can rise beyond our limitations through a conscious process. Our consciousness is possible to be accessed. The deepest core of who we are, which is the very source of creation, is accessible. This is what the fundamental of Adiyogi's significance is. For the first time, he spoke about how a human being can evolve into higher possibilities. It is not that a higher force should come and pull you up. It is just that if you are willing and willing to strive, you can evolve consciously into the ultimate possibility of what this life can be. As I mentioned earlier, the unique alignment of the sun, the moon and the planet on this day creates a powerful energy that supports spiritual growth. This day is generally considered as a day of grace. Grace is not a sentimental blessing, favor or reward as commonly understood. It is more like an unseen support or an inner lubrication that allows spiritual growth to happen in such a manner that this human mechanism functions friction-free so that it can rise. Even the Saptarishis had to undergo intense sadhana to prepare themselves, but preparation alone was not the final step. Their sadhana made them available. The grace made the leap possible. Many people expect grace to serve their personal plans, but your plans are constantly changing based upon circumstances. What you wanted at 18 may no longer matter at 25. What seemed important at 25 may be forgotten by 30. At every stage of life, you create plans, abandon them and replace them with new ones. Grace isn't about any of these plans that you cooked up in your head. Grace is about aligning you with the deeper possibility, helping life move towards its true fulfillment. Grace is always available, like sunlight, but if the blinds are down, the room stays dark. In the same way, no matter how much grace surrounds us, it can only enter when we become available and receptive. This is why certain occasions like Guru Purnima are considered special. They create natural conditions of alignment for us to turn inward and become receptive. But true receptivity does not mean looking up, waiting to receive. Your effort is to demolish all your efforts. The identities, opinions, fears, preferences, self-defenses, and carefully manage ways of presenting yourself to the world that you have accumulated over time. These may help you manage life on the surface, but inwardly they begin to restrict your inner possibility. Since it's your own effort that built this mess, it is up to you to take it down or take it apart. You can see this very clearly as a child, how bubbly a life you were. So easy it was for you to laugh, sing and dance. Above all, alive. Now, as the mess increases, you become less and less alive, less and less available to grace. Maybe you're less available to sunlight also these days. Every human being, either consciously or unconsciously, creates a certain self-image or a personality shaped by life's patterns and circumstances. For most, it's a patchwork of adaptations to external situations. This image is not the truth of who you are, it's only a construction. This collage of patchwork that you have assembled and call it as myself, to protect this, you'll have to do many things. In doing these many things, you forget who you truly are and what is your full potential. Then you gather a certain kind of vasana or scent, and then you entirely forget as to who you are. Shankaran Pillai had a small farm, a medium-level farm in Tennessee, and one day he was driving his tractor loaded with hay. The local trooper came and flagged him down and said, "You're speeding." Asked him to get down from the tractor and gave him a full lecture about how he's risking everybody's life by driving the way he is driving, full lecture. Shankaran Pillai heard everything patiently because there was no other way And then the policeman started writing a ticket. A few flies were buzzing around the policeman's head. Then Shankaran Pillai looked at him and said, "You seem to be having trouble with these circle flies." Then the policeman said, "What are circle flies? I've never heard of circle flies." So Shankaran Pillai said, "In a farm, always there are certain flies which are buzzing around a mule's ass, and they are called circle flies." The policeman continued to write the ticket, then he raised his head and said, "Are you saying that I'm a mule's ass?" Shankaran Pillai said, "No, no, no, sir. I have too much respect for police work. Why would I say such a thing?" Then the policeman continued to write the ticket. Then, after a long pause, Shankaran Pillai said, "Well, it's hard to fool those circle flies though." You may carefully manage your image before others and even to yourself, but life is not deceived by your performance. What you truly are, the quality of your energy, the compulsions you carry, the arrogance, fear, insecurity or pretense within you still reeks out of you. You may polish the surface, but what you carry within still finds a way to show. Grace becomes available when you're simply life, without too much psychological complexity. But the more you become entangled in self-image, personality and mental construction, the more opaque you become. This opaqueness makes you unavailable to grace. Unfortunately, it's become a fad in the world these days. Even so-called spiritual leaders are going about saying, "You must improve your self-image." Please dissolve your self-image, be like the breeze, that you can go through anything effortlessly. The point is not to appear humble, devoted. Humble means looking down, devoted means looking up. And above all, don't look spiritual. The point is to become transparent enough that grace can actually enter. Otherwise, even devotion can become a part of your personality, even spirituality can become another self-image. Many of the so-called spiritual people are quite insufferable, aren't they? This is where the Guru becomes essential. The Guru is a living device that helps expose and dismantle these structures and make us receptive to grace. Only when you experience me as something more than just a person, that I truly become your Guru. Until then, I am not. Someone asked me, "Sadhguru, how should we make use of you? Should we worship you every day? Should we chant mantras? Or should we do something holy of that sort?" I said, "You need to understand that I'm like manure." Not pretty, you know. If you sink your roots into me, something wonderful will happen. You will blossom. If you carry manure on your head, you're a bloody fool. Rooting yourself into something means making it the basis of your life. If you want to root yourself, would you like to root yourself into something that is mature or something immature and half-baked? Of course, you want rich, fertile manure. If you have done gardening, you might have made a compost pit. You dump all your garbage in it so that the life in the soil can transform it into rich manure, because you want manure that has been fully baked by life. I don't look pretty but as a life, this is very mature life, far more than you realize. In the ultimate sense, I'm in the final phase. It is as mature as it can get. You don't have to overthink, how do I put my roots into you? Just make this the basis of your life. Then without knowing how or why, you will blossom. If you recognize something as nourishment, your life will naturally move towards it. It will permeate everything, that's all there is to it. But if you wander, distracted every day, it will only work as much as you allow it. As I said before, Guru is not just a person, the Guru is a possibility. The point of the Guru is not to speak sweetly, comfort you, flatter you, or pipe inanities that make you feel good for a moment. The Guru is not here to decorate your life with nice words. The Guru is here as nourishment for your growth. The real nourishment does not always feel comfortable. It may disturb you, unsettle you, or make your limitations impossible to ignore. A Guru makes you uncomfortable enough that you long to move beyond to the next stage of life. Not everyone has access to the person, but anyone who truly longs always has access to this energy. I have initiated more people I have never met than those I have met. When longing is deep enough, I initiate them wherever they are. When a heart cries out to know, I'm always there. Guru is like a doorway. Pass through it and you find reality. One phenomenal doorway is Dhyanalinga, a living Guru of tremendous power. It's like a person with all seven chakras fully activated, a complete energy body. And highly refined energy system. Dhyanalinga is a living Guru without physical limitations. Dhyanalinga was consecrated so people can do their sadhana in the intimacy of a Guru. Physical Guru can only offer this in small groups, but Dhyanalinga allows large groups to experience it, and in a way, it is better that Dhyanalinga has no physical body. Once you see someone as a human being, he has to fit in to your logical ways. If he doesn't, you won't see him as enlightened. You will think he is crazy. Dhyanalinga does not have any of these problems because, well, you don't see him as a living person. The moment there is a person, you have templates into which he has to fit. I've done my best not to fit into anybody's templates but still, always people go on defining me under disappointed. If one day I fit into their template and another day I don't fit into their template, they are deeply disappointed. So a Guru is an instrument, a doorway to the beyond. It helps you move beyond your psychological reality into existential reality. Beyond the world you have fabricated in your mind, to experience the world as it truly is. There was a powerful sage by the name of Vishwamitra. The name literally means the friend of the world. Vishwamitra was a powerful and accomplished sage. He was a man of extraordinary capability, intense, determined and capable. But again and again, his journey got derailed by one thing, his anger. At the slightest provocation, and sometimes even without provocation, he would flare into anger, lose his balance and lose all the benefits that he derived out of his sadhana. Vishwamitra had immense strength, but he had not yet mastered most fundamental, that the seat of one's experience is within. What happens around you may not always be the way you want it to be, it's not in your hands. But what happens within you must be determined by you and you alone. Instead, he allowed his psychological and emotional reactions to grow larger than reality of existence. In his anger, pride and sense of injustice that he nurtured within himself, he created a whole parallel creation within himself. But existentially, all these inner dramas have no real value. This is the basic mistake most human beings make. Allow our psychological reality to become larger than life itself. Above all, balance. If you do not have balance, all the great virtues that you may possess, many accomplishments you may have, will all go against you at some point, because for all these things to rise and find fruit, it's important that you are in balance, there is a stability to you. In search of balance, one of the simplest ways to be balanced is to be in a deep sense of devotion. Historically, many gurus have used devotion as a tool to open people's receptivity. Devotion is the peak of emotion, and for many, emotion is the easiest way to rise themselves to a greater intensity. Most people can bring their emotions to powerful pitch, but very few can raise their intellect or energy to a powerful pitch. Because emotion is more accessible, it has often been used as a path. As you see, most spiritual paths, particularly religions of the world, have always insisted on devotion. However, I have generally downplayed devotion, not because devotion is unimportant, but because unconscious emotion can easily become chaotic. When emotion is conscious, deliberate and aware, it can become truly beautiful. For most people, without the sweetness of emotion, life itself would not feel worthwhile. So if someone seeks the meaning of life through the sweetness of emotion, that too can be used as a way. But without a sharp and discerning intellect, emotion can also turn into disastrous nonsense. This happened. A lady went to sleep. In her sleep, she had a dream. In her dream, she saw a hunk of a man staring at her. Then he started coming closer and closer. He came so close, she could even feel his breath. Then she asked, trembling, not with fear, trembling, she asked, "What will you do to me?" The man said, "Well, lady, it's your dream." What we experience as life is often colored by our own mental projections. This is why devotion, though it is the most wonderful thing that can happen to a human being, has to be handled carefully. I'm always putting it in the back seat because the line between devotion and deception is very thin. Many people may spend a lifetime believing they are in devotion, when in reality, they are caught in imagination, attachment, emotional indulgence, and above all, self-deception. If emotion is not conscious, devotion can fly off as deception. What feels sacred may simply become another dream woven by the complexity of your mind. Devotion can easily transform itself or slide into deception, As you can see today, most prayers in the world, 95% of the prayers on the planet are usually about asking for something like protection, comfort, success, healing or security. Fundamentally they arise from fear and survival instinct, not from devotion. True devotion is not transaction. It is not a transactional thing in terms of, I give this, so what will I get? It's a movement beyond fear, beyond self-protection and beyond the compulsive need to be taken care of. Above all, to rise beyond your physical limitations, which is where your self-preservation is alive. If you are deep into devotion, you will naturally rise above the instincts of self-preservation. That is a key sign of devotion. This happened in Swami Vivekananda's life. Swami Vivekananda, that first yogi who came to United States in 1893 to Chicago, the Parliament of Religions, and kind of caused waves in America for the first time. Vivekananda's mother was ill, and because Vivekananda had not found a job to earn a living, he was too deeply involved with his guru Ramakrishna, and one day he realized his mother is ill and there is not much food in the house, no money to buy medicine. So, a young dynamic man became angry with himself and then very angry with his guru because Vivekananda was made like this, love or anger, whatever or whatever. The only thing that comes to his mind is his guru, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. So he went in fury to Ramakrishna and asked him, "My mother is ill and I'm the only son, I'm not able to provide food or medicine, what the hell is the use of all this spirituality?" Ramakrishna, a great devotee himself, said, "Oh, your mother is ill, there is no money, no food, no medicine." He had a shrine of Kali, the mother goddess, and he said, "The big mother, the great mother is here, go and ask that your mother is ill, you need money, you need medicine, you need food." Vivekananda thought, well, that's a good idea, and he went into the shrine. After an hour, he came out. Ramakrishna asked, "Did you ask?" Vivekananda said, "I forgot." Ramakrishna said, "Go into the shrine and ask." He went back again and he came out after about 2.5 to 3 hours or so. Ramakrishna asked, "Did you ask Devi for your mother's medicine, money, whatever you needed?" Vivekananda said, "No, I forgot." Ramakrishna said, "Go back, don't forget, ask." Then Vivekananda went back into the shrine, came out after nearly 8 hours. Then Ramakrishna asked, "Did you ask?" Vivekananda said, "No, I will not ask. I have no need to ask." Ramakrishna said, "That's a good thing, because today, in the shrine, if you had asked for anything, this would be the last day between you and me. An asking fool has not realized the fundamental nature of life. This is not because a mother's suffering did not matter. It was because Ramakrishna saw the danger of Vivekananda reducing the divine into a means for personal survival. Ramakrishna knew Vivekananda was on a path towards something far greater than mere relief from hardship. If Vivekananda stood before the Divine Mother and became an asking fool, seeking food, money or comfort, he would have reduced a profound spiritual movement to a simple transaction, driven by personal emotion, fear and instinct of self-preservation. The danger lay not in the act of prayer itself, but the direction it would set within him. His relationship with the Divine would become transactional when it needed to become complete and unconditional. When standing before Kali, Vivekananda was not being tested on his love for his mother, but on whether his longing for the highest was stronger than the strongest pull of personal need. Well, don't worry, this is not a blood-soaked bandage or something. I'm immersed in the Devi consecration right now. A few freaky things happen and few freaky a few freaky things happen and few freaky things I have to do myself. This is the delicate point about devotion. Emotion can either bind you more deeply to your needs, or it can become so intense that it burns through them. The question is not whether emotion has a place on the spiritual path, but what direction it takes. On Guru Purnima, especially when you sit with your Guru, the instinct of self-preservation must be set aside. If you cannot raise your energies to an intense pitch, at least raise your emotion. Whether it comes as love, longing, anger or tears is not the point. What matters is intensity. A cautious, carefully managed life cannot cross certain boundaries. A certain madness of your heart is needed. Not madness is unconscious chaos, but the willingness to go beyond self-preservation. After all, what is madness? When you encounter something beyond your present logic and understanding, it naturally appears crazy to you. True devotion is not emotion for its own sake. The purpose of devotion is dissolution. The only aim of a devotee is to dissolve into the object of devotion. The form of relationship matters only to the extent that it supports this dissolution. So the real question is not whether devotion is good or bad, but whether it dissolves the personality or simply strengthens it in a more emotional form. If one learns to keep their energies intense, steady and focused, the dependence on raw emotion naturally fades because energy is deeper, sweeter and far more expansive than emotion by its own nature. This is why I have kept emotion in a more controlled place, because it is possible to raise people's energies to great intensity without depending too heavily on emotion. This is also why we have given you very powerful yogic processes such as Shambhavi, Shunya, Samyama and other practices. These practices are ways of making the system sensitive, open and available. If your energies are not open and available, there is very little room for the Guru, grace or even life itself to reach you. When your energies are stuck in a certain rut because of karmic structures, unconscious habits or the way you live, you may miss what is constantly being offered. The practices are meant to loosen that rigidity and make you receptive. Practices also express your dedication to your chosen path. Without this, there is no focus or receptivity. Life responds to the direction you orient your mind, body and especially your energy. Practices are simple ways to orient your energy toward a higher possibility. You may have seen our T-shirts that we produced early on called Invitation to the Divine. When your energy becomes an invitation, even the divine cannot refuse you. While the practices bring many benefits of health and well-being, the most important is that you become an invitation to the divine. This is the crux of all practices. This is the essence of Guru culture. Not waiting for someone to descend from above, but cultivating ordinary people to rise to divine possibility. This culture must grow. This possibility should become available to every human being because it is time that humanity rises as physically in the world, in the material world, we are super empowered. It's time to rise. A guru not here to interpret scriptures or act as a philosopher, a guide or friend. A guru's role is to take you to another dimension of life beyond what you currently perceive. A guru is someone who can open up dimensions of life that you are still unaware of. For a long time, in human experience, people believed that the world was flat, because that was all their perception allowed them to see. Only when perception expanded did the true nature of the planet become clear. The same way the fullness of life cannot happen if you have experienced only a small fragment of it. Through most of the month, we see only partial phases of the moon, but only on the Purnima day or the full moon day, we see this complete form. Similarly, most human beings know themselves only in fragments. To know the full shape of who you are beyond these partial identities, you need a guru, the one who lights up your path. Most people expect a guru to help with their everyday problems their body, mind, relationships, emotions or social troubles, even financial issues. But these are domestic matters you must learn to handle yourself, otherwise precious time is wasted. The real purpose of a guru is not to manage your life, but to open a doorway beyond the life you already know. I involve myself in these areas because, 21st century guru, a desperate guru. I did not come at the time of Adiyogi, when a guru could simply sit and say, who wants to come, come, otherwise get lost. I have to bend your body, mind and emotions to prepare you. I have to wake you up in the morning and get you to do your practices But that is not the real purpose of a guru. You don't come to a guru seeking solace or comfort. Guru is not a tranquilizer. He is a steroid for growth, pushing you towards your fullest form. Become a full moon. Gu means darkness, Ru means dispeller. Guru means one who dispels darkness. But to turn darkness into light, something has to burn. Well, that's how it happens in the physical world. A guru does not give you theories, philosophies or scriptural knowledge, nor is a friend holding a torch for you. He is the torch, he burns. If you really want to know what it is, you also must burn. When somebody holds a torch for you, it makes your way. But when you burn, not always comfortable, but when you burn, you become light. That means you travel at the speed of light. People often ask me, Sadhguru, what can we do for you as a guru? What I want to see is this: no matter your situation right now, take one small step this moment towards breaking the limitations within you. Then take another small step next moment. If you aren't taking these steps, even if you put garlands around me and prostrate in front of me, it doesn't mean anything, because my life is dedicated and devoted to your growth. If you deny me that, then what is the use of garlands which will go dry in a few hours? And you molesting my feet, what is the point of this? This is the true measure because it's about growth. We want people who consciously grow, not those waiting for blessings to happen or hoping to reach heaven someday. We want people who don't even care about heaven. If you are seeking heaven, you must go somewhere else. With me, we aim to bypass heaven because we are not interested in spreading beliefs about some place up there called heaven, some place down there called hell. Difference between dogma and seeking is this: dogma gives you words, vocabulary, often complicated, with elaborate philosophies, but still just words, and says, this is the ultimate. Words like ultimate, divine, superconsciousness, enlightenment may sound impressive, but by themselves they only improve your vocabulary, they do not transform your life. Ultimate is something you must experience. It is not a word, it cannot be contained in a dictionary or in your mental vocabulary. A true spiritual process does not give you conclusions about the ultimate, it gives you a method, a step-by-step process to climb. If I tell you what the ultimate is, I'm only give you another idea to hold on to, and that itself becomes a limitation. No guru ever truly tells you what the ultimate is, he only shows you how to approach it. I can offer you the way that I have found, but the experience must become only yours. We are not interested in creating another belief system. There are too many already. This is about seeking to understand the nature of existence itself. Right now, the only thing you know for sure is that you exist. But what is it that makes you exist? What is it that makes this life tick right now? If you know just this piece of life, if you know just this piece of life, you will know everything worth knowing. You don't have to go about knowing the creation because this piece of life is all you have. It is very important to start with what is in your hand. This is the one piece of creation that is in your experience. Everything else is just a reflection. If you make a serious attempt, it won't take 1,000,000 years or even 12 years. It can happen in a moment. If you make it a genuine question, not mere curiosity. If it becomes a life or death question, I want to know, what the hell is this all about? Nobody can stop you. I am here to guide you so that you don't waste 12 years, but it must be the only thing on your mind, screaming in every cell of your body. Otherwise, doors won't open. Doors open only when you give everything you have. Even then, everything you have may not be enough. That is when you need a little push. That is when a guru becomes necessary. A guru becomes relevant only when you have done everything you can and there are things you cannot do. It's a mistake to call guru a master. You call him that because of his mastery over himself, not because he rules over others. There was a well-known guru in the northern part of Bharat. As it is the tradition, people always like to have bath in running water, that is a river, when rivers were clean and pure and they were running full also. So the guru went to the river and his fresh clothes, he asked one of the disciples to hold, and he went into the river. As he washed himself, then he saw a scorpion was floating down the river, struggling. Not a great swimmer he is So he was struggling and the guru reached out and picked him up. And the disciple screamed, "Don't take him, he will sting you." And well, the scorpion stung him. Then the Guru started walking with the scorpion towards the bank, and disciple was screaming, "Throw him back into the river, he's going to sting." And the scorpion stung him again and again, 3 times. By now, the disciple was screaming, "It's poisonous, it can cause damage to you, it can even kill. What are you doing?" The Guru came out of the water, gently let the scorpion go on the bank, looked up at the disciple and said, "What are you freaking around like this? The scorpion is expressing its nature. He is doing what he knows best. I am expressing my nature, doing what I know best. What are you freaking out for?" A guru does not abandon his nature just because the situation becomes painful, inconvenient or misunderstood. His commitment is not to your comfort, but to your liberation. Beyond the partial life you know, beyond belief, beyond psychological drama, and into the fullness of life itself, if you are willing to take one step beyond your limitations, the Guru becomes the doorway through which that possibility opens. For a long time, the relationship between the Guru and disciple has been considered the highest form of relationship because it is reasonably unconditional, at least from one side. Your side might be conditional, but at least it is reasonably unconditional on the Guru's side. The Guru's side is not based on personal preference, emotion or expectation. The Guru is not relating to who you are right now, he is relating to the possibility of who you could be tomorrow or towards your highest possibility. Think about most relationships between parents and children, friends, spouse or anyone else. What we are really trying to do is fit together somehow, body with body, mind with mind, emotions with emotions. Each person is a unique combination of physical needs, mental patterns, emotional tendencies, memory, fear, desire and expectation, so it rarely fits perfectly or it never fits perfectly. It's just that if you come to terms with imperfections, you will be okay. Sometimes, for a moment, everything seems to fit beautifully, physicality, mentality, emotions, but the next moment it doesn't. It will never happen that every moment of a 24-hour day, two bodies, minds and emotions will perfectly align by nature. They cannot. They are individualistic, they have their own histories, preferences, compulsions and rhythms. This is why ordinary relationships often swing between closeness and conflict. Most lovers spend their lives quarreling, yet they cling to a few wonderful moments of togetherness. They become addicted to those flashes of harmony. But if you look honestly, how many moments of true ecstasy do you have in a day? Well, you must tell me. Well, a woman went shopping. At the checkout counter, after picking up what she wants, she was paying the bill, and the counter clerk noticed that she had TV remote in her handbag. So the counter clerk asked, "Do you always carry your TV remote with you in your handbag?" She said, "No, but I wanted my husband to come with me shopping, but he refused. So this is the meanest thing I can do legally, that I take away the the TV remote." That is how most relationships work. They may be full of affection, but they're also full of small negotiations, disappointments, retaliations expectation and emotional bookkeeping. This does not mean love is false. It only means that when a relationship is based on body, mind and emotion, it will naturally have friction because these three are always changing. If you understand this, you will construct relationships with much more intelligence. You will not demand that another person fit into every moment. You will know that harmony comes and goes because body, mind and emotion are not stable foundations. But if your identification with body, mind and emotion recedes, you begin to function more as a larger sphere of energy, then a different kind of relationship becomes possible. It can fit in a way that it is not dependent on mood preference or circumstance, it can even be taken beyond life and death. This is why the relationship between Guru and Shishya is held as the highest, not because Guru and disciple love each other more than a parent loves a child or husband loves a wife, it is because the relationship is not fundamentally based on body, mind and emotion. These individualistic aspects are kept aside, at least on the Guru's side. The Guru is not responding to your likes and dislikes, he is responding to the ultimate possibility that you are. Here at the yoga center, in the Isha Sangha, the brahmacharis go through a process called Shakti Sangamam. Now even our Ishangas and also the Purnangas are beginning to go through a different level of Shakti Sangamam. Shakti Sangamam literally means confluence of energies. The idea is, you don't even have to know the people. You simply sit here together, you reverberate together, naturally. This is a different kind of relationship, not a personal bond, but a deeper bond of life. When a bond forms in the level of your energy, knowing each other isn't necessary. Knowing each other's personality doesn't matter. No matter where you are in the world, I can share an intimacy with you that cannot be matched even by living with someone for 50 years. This is because there is a dimension of relationship which is not the body or of physicality or companionship, it's about life energy itself. Even within energies, each person's energy is unique. The core is the same, but the flavor that each energy takes on is different. There is a certain layer on the surface where each individual energy has its own flavor. They rarely match. If you learn to pierce through that surface and touch the universal dimension beneath, you experience instant rapport. No words, no transactions, just pure union. When we say, we will teach you yoga, this is what we mean. We will reach into your deepest core. You won't be able to shake it off. You are not yet capable of escaping that part of yourself. Is this bondage? No. This is the only path to freedom. True freedom comes through inclusion, not exclusion. People often think freedom means doing whatever they want, being wherever they please. They see freedom as exclusiveness, but exclusiveness is bondage. You become trapped by your own selfishness, your very existence becomes a cage. The real freedom comes from inclusion, not just surface level of I love you, you love me. On the surface, that's okay. Maybe it is needed to make you willing. Love is a solvent, but not a solution. It dissolves the rough edges in you, it brings you a little closer to people so that there is a possibility, but it is not the real thing. Now, this is an unpopular thing to say, but please look at this. Love softens you. Love takes away your rough edges. Love makes you willing, but still you have not become one. It is a great possibility, but not yet. If you do not consciously evolve your ability to form relationships with everything around you, on that deeper level of natural union, you will never know the joy of being in this world. You will only know fear and anxiety of either not finding your love or losing your love. Just being in this world can be an overwhelmingly ecstatic experience if you know this union with everything around you. If you can look at the mountain and just burst into tears, or see an insect and feel not just love but profound sense of oneness, that it is a part of you, the intensity of life itself becomes an explosion that won't allow exclusiveness. Instead, it naturally expands you into inclusiveness. I have said this to you many times and many of you have realized this, that once you genuinely sit with me even for a moment, there is no such thing as privacy in your life. But I have a very strong sense of aesthetic. Because of that, only if you strive to keep yourself open, depending upon how much openness you create, that much of an active role I will play. If you allow me, I will even decide what you should eat for breakfast. I can write it in a paper and give you and you will eat just that tomorrow morning, not as an imposition, but as a natural choice. I'm saying in most mundane things also, it can find expression, but it is not really necessary. So am I going to come and tell you, eat this or that? No, it is just that if sunlight is on, you're walking on the road, you will naturally go where you have to go. You will not fall into a pit or take a wrong turn. So, in that sense, yes, I can enter every aspect of your life if you're willing. If you want to have your life, it's up to you. If you want me only to influence your spiritual life, I'm fine. That's your choice. What are you ready for? Something that you have to decide today. Today is Guru Purnima, a perfect day to make that decision and commit yourself to the same.